Softball all year long. That's Irwin's favorite dentist, Dr. Jason Gunningham, the Unicoi County Gas Utility District, Health and Home Care of Irwin, Unicoi County Insurance Agency Computer Guy, Irwin Utilities, Irwin Paint and Body, Relay for Life of Unicoi County, and Jones Hardware. Remember this, if you are a fan of Unicoi sponsor and bring the broadcast back to the community, let us know. Now, it's going to take a little bit of coin, but we can help your business. 2, 3. All this college basketball stuff, this came out here. Gary Parrish, well-known college basketball writer, he came out with his, keep in mind we're going to crown a champ in what, 11 months. Yeah, but already they've got the preseason, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Who's the preseason champ for the national title in college basketball, men's that is, in 2020? Boy, we really are focusing on, I mean, we got Westbrook, Tennessee, but yeah, there's a story in the New Yorker, actually. I don't know how many people said, but it's on Jackie McMullen, the great sports writer, how she got her start, and it was back in the day, she was just upset that in the sports page then women's basketball wasn't covered. And she called up, this was 40 years ago or so, she called up her local old-time, hardened, cigar-smoking sports editors. You know, I know these guys. And sort of said, well, tell you what, why don't I hire you as a stringer? You know, I can do it. Back then, they had budgets that they could do that, you know. Really? Yeah, sure. Now, your column, if your story stinks, kid, I ain't going to run it. It was Jackie McMullen. She had some writing aptitude. They ran. That's how it started. It's actually a decent story. And she covered women's basketball, high school in her area. You know, so there you are. But let's talk about the men's here. Michigan State is picked by Gary Parrish. Yes, Michigan State is the favorite to win the national championship next year. NCAA tournament. You get the idea. Look, when you get these rankings 11 months ahead of time, it really is Fordham to go into the top 25. Now, they probably won't, but, you know, that's... But Michigan State, why? And they've lost 3 players. But the thing is, they've got a nice team coming back. Duke, number 2. Kentucky, number 3. Louisville, number 4. Kansas, number 5. Memphis, and Penny Hardaway is getting in some fine recruits, by the way, despite the fact that he is going to lose 6 players. But the Memphis Tigers, Gary Parrish has Bulldogs, Gonzaga. Seton Hall, remember, I thought they were going to beat Wofford last year because I thought they matched up real well against them. That's not against a knock on the Terriers. Listen to me. I'm getting Memphis and Wofford mixed up. You know that I thought Wofford had a wonderful team last year. You know, I was saying Wofford should have made the NCAA tournament 2 years ago as an at-large team. But I thought Seton Hall matched up against them, and because of that, Gary Parrish thinks that the Pirates could be the number 11 team next year in major college basketball. I know that reading down it's a little bit boring, but when it's in a little bit like here, it's not. It's like, who's next? Next could be, hey, is this team a dynasty? Villanova, number 12. That's Gary Parrish's preseason pick next year. Bruce Pearl in Auburn, number 13. I think he's nuts that he has Arizona, number 15. I'll move ahead a little bit. Michigan with John Beilein. No, not with John Beilein. He's going to be the Cavaliers coach. Cleveland. Did you hear that? That's what's out there. Fran McCafferty's Iowa Hawkeyes. I thought they had a losing record 2 years ago. They did. But anyway, he's got Michigan number 16, Iowa number 17, Purdue that beat UT number 19, Virginia Commonwealth number 20, Tennessee, number 21. They'll take a step down. Remember, I told you that. I mean, who they got in the post, we do not know. Stop that ad. Getting ahead of time here. Then, going out there, Creighton, who beat ETSU, although ETSU had a late lead. Number 24. Ohio State, number 25. Davidson, number 26. Now, Let's talk a little bit about why this would be. Michigan State, Cassius Winston's decision to return to Michigan State for his senior year. That's enough for Gary Parrish to have him number 1. Why would Kentucky be number 3? Well, it sounds like, blue blood programs. Which way do we put... Speaking of blue blood, Kentucky. Think about that, Huh? And see, I told a funny, huh? Return of Ashton Haggins for his sophomore year is a massive reason for Kentucky to be number 3. They also seem to be looking at perhaps picking up some big-name recruits. Among them, by the way, said that 5-star forward Jaden McDaniels is sort of projected, although he hasn't officially gone now, to go to Kentucky. So I'm not big on recruiting rankings, but still. But that would be a reason for Kentucky to be up high. Memphis, why would they be up high and all that? The ranking is based on Memphis securing commitments from 5-star forward Precious Achua. I always thought Precious was more of a feminine name. Well, okay, so it's like Shannon and Kelly, and for that matter, Marky. Can we go both ways? I like it. And Boogie Ellis. Boy, you could go either way, either gender with that. Boogie Ellis, I like that name. There's a mate. That's the Admiral Schofield of Tennessee, state of Tennessee basketball now. I star for the Tar Heels for the 30-odd games he'll play for him before, that sort of thing now. Virginia Cavaliers, they lose their last 3 scorers, but they are the defending national champs, so why not put them in number 9? I mentioned Seton Hall, and actually Seton Hall, Kevin Willard was a candidate at Virginia Tech, but he decided to stay at Seton Hall because of the team he had coming back. A couple of scorers, Caleb Calhoun about losing Jalen Cone. No, that Caleb Calhoun, all for Tennessee.com. He'll be on at 12:30. And by the way, if you're expecting to hear SoCon John Hooper right now, he's going to be on. Talk to him then. But Gary Parrish has this interesting thing. Davidson as number 26. Now listen to why he's got Davidson. The top 6 scorers from a Davidson team that finished 14-4 in the A10 are expected back, including the player of the year, John Axel Gunmanson. As long as Kellen Grady stays healthy, the Wildcats will be good enough to advance in the NCAA tournament. So he's saying that Davidson could be, and they were 24-10. We're all familiar with Davidson around here. ETSU didn't help themselves by losing Melaine Armas. I believe that. I want to find out about that. The events of last week prove that. I think if Melaine Armas was still a Buccaneer, you could talk about ETSU being in this top 25. I really do. But they do have their top 6 scorers back. Just like Davidson. And that's why Gary Parrish says, hey, look out for Davidson. If I'm going 26 on my top 25 ranking, I got to pick the Blue Bloods. But Davidson, yeah, I think it could be good. Now, yes, I would say it's more impressive to bring back your top 6 returning starters in the A10 than it is in the SoCon. But it's not all that powerfully big of a difference. Let's put it that way. I have a lot of respect for the Atlantic 10